Oh, right. Who's translating?
Take five.
Anh định trả tình yêu.
Are you translating? Okay, thanks. All right, so I'm going to keep this one pretty brief because we have another training session at 3, and I don't want to go completely back to back. So there's just a couple things or 3 things I want to show: piping, stitching, and wrinkles. Okay. So, give me 1 second here. I want to copy some files over from our Wayfair network. So most of this stuff that I want to show is pretty simple. I just want to make sure that everyone knows it and that the information gets to any new people who start as well. All right, so the first thing I'm going to show is the simplest. So if we have this pillow that needs piping around it, like this, but doesn't have it, the easiest thing we can do to create it is to extract a line and turn that into piping. So we just select an edge loop around there and we click I always lose this button. So many buttons. There we go. Create shape from selection, and I'll just call this piping 1. We can set this to linear. It'll have slightly fewer polygons. It doesn't really make a big difference. So then we select that object, or we select the piping object. It's an editable spline. We click Enable in Renderer and Enable in Viewport. And we can change how thick it is to make it the right size. Is this something that you guys do a lot that you know already? Okay. I just wanted to show this really fast to point out a couple things. When we are doing this, we can generate UVs. So if I look at the UVs on this right now, they kind of follow along where they would be on the pillow mesh, which isn't really correct. So we can see that that's actually really getting stretched along there by default. So we want to make sure to click Generate Mapping Coordinates. So now it's creating UVs, but it's squishing them all into that square. So it's still pretty stretched there. So what we want to do is also toggle on real world map size. That works similarly to the button that I showed for other things. It makes the UVs really big, but the proportion is correct. So we can scale it down as we need to, and this way we know that the proportion is right, so the materials will look right. We good? Okay. We can also take geometry that's an editable poly, and we can make it use the UVs of a shape. Do you want me to show that? I'm not sure if that's something you guys know already. Sorry, what's that?
Oh, the proposed. What are you doing?
Oh, so there's a way to take an editable poly and make it use UVs of a spline. Yeah. I'm not sure if you know that. Do you guys want me to show that, or is it something you already know?
Oh, yes.
You want me to show? Okay. So if we are making something like piping, and so this I've collapsed to an editable poly. If, for example, if for some reason we messed up the UVs, so that, let's say the UVs just look like this, which is not correct.
Sorry.
Yeah.
We want to you want to fix the UV after call out.
Correct. Yeah. Keep going? Okay. So this one now, the UVs are wrong. So we can make the UVs use a spline. So we have unfold strip from loop and spline mapping. This button is grayed out and I can't remember how to make it work. 1 second. Okay, here we go. So basically what we do is we have our geometry where the UVs are wrong. We can select that edge and create shape. That will be shape for UVs. If we give this shape the correct UVs, we can select our geometry where the UVs are bad, select all the faces, do spline mapping, pick spline, and select that one. Forgot which of these buttons it is that we want to click. Does anybody know? So this is a little better than it was. It's not perfect. I think there's a way to get it to lay out a little bit better than this. I'm sorry, I can't completely remember. I can look into this and give you guys an update. The main idea is that if you have geometry, you can pick a spline and tell the geometry to use the UVs from the spline.
Bạn làm thì nó bị lỗi gì ấy, bạn mình sẽ gửi các test thôi. Nhưng mà cái ý chính ở đây là mình có cái geometry xong rồi mình click vào cái slide xong rồi apply lại cái kia.
Copy.
Đấy, đúng rồi đấy. Copy lại lấy được cái UV của nó.
So I think to fix it from here, we'll have to break that one edge, select everything, and relax. It's a little bit messed up, but it's closer. I'll look into it and let you guys know. Sorry, I don't remember exactly what the setting is. So another thing that I want to show is making stitching. So when we have SKUs that have stitches on them, something like this, here we go. So when we see things like this where we have those stitches going through it, do you guys usually model the stitches or do you use a material for them? Two ways? Okay. Awesome. Cool. Yes. So you guys know that method? Okay. Cool. Okay. I wasn't sure if you guys know that. Those were the two methods I was going to show. But if you already know that, I can move on.
Split từng điểm một xong rồi từ 2 điểm lại thành một cái đường chỉ, 2 điểm thành đường chỉ.
they want to know another way. So those are the quickest and easiest ways. You make one thing and path deform to duplicate a bunch. That's what you guys are doing. Or you just basically make a pipe like this, and then you have a material with the opacity, so it's like on, off, on, off. Those are the two ways that I use the most. I think they're the quickest and easiest. Is there something that is hard about those that made you want a different way? Is there something you don't like? The way I created in 3ds Max. I mean, so that is the method that you mentioned. Okay, and you do want to see it? Oh, okay. I can, if you already know it, I don't have to go over it if it's something, but if you want me to, I can. Okay. So the path deform method, just a couple things that I wanted to point out about it is how to optimize it. So I will start with a very low polygon object. I think it's the oil tank. So because we're going to have very, very many of these, we want this to have as few polygons as possible. So the number of sides can probably just be 6.
This one can do so earthly. If I have a line.
You can sit down.
I don't know this.
Okay, yeah, so show me.
Không, anh không biết cái này, anh xem một video mở quá. Cái divide supply and convert to geometry.
Do you want more points
Yeah.
on the spline?
Yeah.
Okay, so the way I do it is there is a modifier, I think that is, so there's actually a modifier that will recreate the spline and even out the number of points. I'm looking for it in this list because I can't remember the name of the modifier. If anybody knows what it is, please feel free to shout it out. So this is how I learn when I'm not sure how to do something. I tell Google that I'm not a robot. I wait for them to verify that I'm not a robot. Normalized spline, I think that's what it is. So is this what you were asking about? So
Không biết là lệnh nào, chỉ biết là nó từ đường này nó chia thành nhiều những cái một cái đường thẳng dài, thì cái đường thẳng nhỏ từ nó và thằng này nó có bước sang giao chi, cái thằng này biết thì chỉ đi.
Ở đây với nhau không anh? Biết rất nhiều.
Em chỉ còn nhanh quá anh tìm ra có là nô một cái ra đấy. Không nhớ nữa.
Bây giờ thì mình sẽ chọn hết điểm xong brick nó ra này. Brick. Đó. Brick xong thì rendering lên thôi. Cái này khó dùng quá. Cần.
So look, we're in an edit spline right now.
Thử nhá.
Có tua xuống này là được.
Bây giờ thì nó được tách ra đấy thì mình về poly. Bây giờ tạo khoảng cách thôi. Kiểu như này á.
Oh. Okay. Wait, so
Đây kiểu như vậy.
yeah. So that looks nice. I haven't done it that way. Is that what you guys do?
Anh chỉ biết là nó này làm được, anh không biết lại là gì.
Only know about this.
I did not know about that actually. I think that looks good. That works. What was the last step you did to pull them apart again? Will you show that one more time?
Rồi.
Nó bảo cái này hay á, bạn cũng chưa biết đâu.
Yeah, that looks great. That works. I did not know that. So what was the very last step you did? Will you repeat the very last step?
Cái bước gần nhất là em làm gì?
Kêu.
Em sợ element xong skill.
Oh, so you're just element?
F12 bảo dẫn em F12.
Aha. Yeah, nice. I like that. Cool. All right, 3 methods of making stitching. Hopefully that covers everything. Cool. Thank you for sharing. I like that.
Có 3 cách để làm mới nhá.
Còn cái
Nói đi cho nó được rồi. Anh nói đi.
rồi nó về
So there are a couple other things that I wanted to show about making wrinkles with a displacement map. I think you guys have used this a little. There's just a couple things I wanted to point out about it. These files are not transferring over. The network is being slow, so I'll just recreate them. So I know I saw some models using a Burkhan noise and displacement to create wrinkles. So the idea is you can make a very small noise that tiles more in one direction than another. Oops. Oh, you know what? I actually have this. I had downloaded this file, but it got lost, so I have to recreate it. Sorry guys. So what happened is I loaded this file before in a material library, and then Max crashed, and it doesn't remember the last material library I had loaded. So I'm trying to reload it now. All right, gonna do it the hard way. Sorry for the delay here. All right, so while I am reloading this, can you tell me, have you guys used this method of using Burcon noise in displacement to create wrinkles? Is that something you guys do? You know what I'm talking about?
Bạn nào đang làm đấy là mình nói về cái để tạo win.
ai là sẽ tạo ra vận động nhưng mà thường thì bữa không đẹp chỉ có ai không tạo ai tạo người em hỏi ai bên con nói cái biết từng đấy
This is not displacement.
The distance texture? Distance, I think I sent a tutorial a few days ago. Okay, cool. Have you guys used radial wrinkles to create wrinkles in tufting? Radial wrinkles, like radial, like kind of like a star coming out from the center.
Okay. cái radio nghe nó giống thế mà.
So I think I sent a tutorial last week, maybe. I just wanted to. So this method, you guys know this? Okay. And then,
xong rồi bên sau ra điện đây ra điều thì đây là cái
you guys know this? Okay. I was going to show some of this stuff. If you already know this and don't need help, I don't have to show it. Are there questions on this that you guys want me to show or want help with?
câu hỏi gì về này tạo cái này là cái gì khó khăn
làm đấy đi cái anh đang để chung quanh mình là
Okay. They got it? Okay, cool. That's it then. Really, I just wanted to go over this, but if you have no questions, we're good. I have something else that I'm showing at 3, so we can end here if you don't have any questions on this.
câu hỏi gì
chứ nào anh làm lại này
You want to study your model the wrinkle on the 3D model.
Oh, how to actually model in a wrinkle? Oh, okay. For like radial wrinkles like this? Okay. So I don't have an example planned right now. I can kind of just wing it if you guys want to see. Yeah?
Just model anything.
Oh, like, wait, did you just want to see me model anything or wrinkles?
Wrinkle with
Radial. Okay, yeah. I did not prepare for this, just to warn you. I'm doing this off the top of my head. So the way I would usually do it is something like, I start modeling with a box, just so that I know the normals are facing the correct direction. And I have these 2 boxes checked. But then I'll edit poly and delete those. So I use the method that I've shown before, where I will toggle on show cage and add a smooth on top. And show end result. So there's a few different kinds. It kind of depends what I'm doing. Sometimes I like to cut a wrinkle like this. And then sometimes I like to do it like this way. It just kind of depends on the shape. So I try to keep it as low resolution as possible until I need more geometry. I think that didn't go where I wanted it to. Nope, definitely did not. Let's try that again. And so the basic idea is something like this. And so I can see this kind of side by side. I like to use, what I showed the other day, the clone modifier. Oh. Oops. Oh, oops. So is this what you wanted to see? Just kind of my process of just going through and making these? Is that right? Okay. So I usually use this. I'm honestly not sure why it's not welding these together here. I'm just going to ignore that for now. I don't know why it's not doing it right. I mean, so that's basically a very simple way to do tufting. If I needed like a button on the tufting, you could basically just add a cube.
Để cách rất là đơn giản để tạo cái hiệu ứng đồi anh cứ dịch là rồi cho nó dễ hiểu nha. Nghĩ ra từ khác nó khó lắm. Bây giờ thì là bạn sẽ show cho mình cách đặt cái nút quy vào.
So I can attach my original shape to the cube. And then when I smooth it, the cube kind of turns into a button. I can make this part lower, that lower if I need to. And if we need the tufts tighter, we can put some support loops around there. So that was, this distance was much too big, so I can move these edges closer into the center and do the same here. So I mean, it just kind of depends on the exact end result shape, but this is the basic idea, is you just kind of carve the shape in the low poly geometry and just kind of change the support loops as necessary. So I mean, that's kind of the basic idea. If I wanted these to pillow up more, be something like, could cut additional edges through here. So usually I like to start kind of making a flat plane of tufts basically, and then using the patch deform method that I was showing the other day to sort of shape it around like the actual shape of like the sofa. I don't really want to spend a ton of time on this right now because I didn't prepare this specifically, and I'm kind of just experimenting as I go along. Does this give you the sort of general idea of what you were asking about?
Về cơ bản như bạn làm là bạn sẽ làm cái bằng cái plate này, sau đấy dùng cái bát cho cái bạn chỉ để mình cho nó vào cái shape mà bạn mong muốn. Thì với những cái technique mà bạn chỉ cho mình cả trước hôm nay thì mình thấy là đã ok để trả lời câu hỏi của mình khi làm cái bạn này.
How to create a map. to put wrinkles inside the tuft, like the wrinkle map. Oh, that was
Cái ở bên trong
like this kind of thing.
đúng rồi. Cái này là anh nhớ câu rất là So they know that you have the tutorial on this.
Mhm.
Just want to have you demo live to see visually.
Okay, so you just want to see going through the steps in here.
Em muốn nghe từng bước một cách làm và áp vào đó. Như em muốn anh là thì ok bây giờ là bạn thì sẽ chỉ còn có hôm nay và ngày mai